Welcome back, Mass Mikes. It's Mass Mike 830 here, and today we will be doing a Transformers movie ranking. So, Rise of the Beasts will be included in this ranking, so if you haven't seen Rise of the Beasts, I suggest you leave now because there are going to be some major spoilers popping up. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's get started. So, my least favorite Transformers movie has to be The Last Knight. Now, if you compare it to itself, this movie was pretty cool. But if I had to compare it to the other seven Transformers movies, then it wouldn't go that high up. And here's why. First off, I didn't like Optimus as the villain. He's just not the villain type. After all we've seen of him as the hero, I just couldn't really understand why he would turn to the dark side. And then we have the final battle sequence. Now, the final battle sequence had to have been my least favorite final battle sequence of the Transformers saga. It just didn't really do a lot in action-wise, or, it didn't show us a grand scale of Decepticons and Autobots just fighting each other like it did with previous movies, like Transformers 1 or Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. It didn't do that here, but it was still kind of a cool final battle scene. And then we have the elephant in the room, the Bumblebee voice problem. Now, I've been thinking about this since Bumblebee came out. So, in Transformers The Last Knight, most of you guys know that Bumblebee got his voice back. But Blitzwing took out his voice box in Bumblebee. So how could Bumblebee talk? I would have loved to, hear how Bumblebee could talk again. But they didn't do that. And it's a plot hole here. They could have explained it, but they didn't. And they just expected us to roll with it. And we did, for a little while. And then Bumblebee came out. And then Blitzwing ripped up his vocal cord. And then it just went south. Speaking of Bumblebee, let's go back to Bumblebee. Because Bumblebee is my 6th favorite Transformers movie. Now, don't get me wrong. Bumblebee was a great movie. And I really liked it. It was nice to see how Bumblebee got to Earth to find Sam in the first place. But, if I had to compare it, if I really had to compare it to the other Transformers movies, it wouldn't go that high. I thoroughly enjoyed Bumblebee. It was a great step up from The Last Knight. I have to give it that. But, if I have to compare it, if I really had to lay down the law and say this one is better, this wouldn't be too far up, because these movies, the Transformers movies, I have grown up with and I have grown to love. I might grow to love Bumblebee in the near future, but right now it's my 6th favorite movie, but it might change. Now we go on to my 5th favorite Transformers movie, which is Transformers 1. Now, don't get me wrong, Transformers was an awesome movie. Everything about it was so cool. But if I had to compare it to the other seven Transformers movies, it wouldn't go up so high. It would go up to my 5th favorite. Because I liked it, I really, really did, but I liked the other ones just a smidge better. Just a little bit better. Now, this was where it kind of got tricky for me, because I love all of these movies in their very own special way. But, where would I put them if I were ranking them? Because these movies all hold a special place in my heart, but where would I put them if I were ranking them against each other? So next up, we have Transformers Dark of the Moon. Now, I really liked this movie. I loved it. This movie was so cool. I liked what they did with the Apollo 11 mission, All that stuff was super cool, and it was just awesome in its own unique little way. Next up, we have Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Now, first off, let me say that I don't really know how I feel about the crossover between Transformers and G.I. Joe. Because on one hand, you have two massively awesome franchises, but on the other, you have to think, like, can they do this right? I don't know. Maybe. They might be able to do it right. They might be able to win me over. But right now, I'm kind of skeptical. And I kind of knew Bumblebee was going to come back, like, in the very end of the movie, because he has to be in the first, five Transformers movies. So I knew he was coming back one way or the other. But other than that, the movie was awesome. I loved the Maximals. We had another perfect Transformers villain in Scourge. And the movie was just super, super cool in its own right. And I really, really liked it. And now we move over to my second favorite Transformers movie, which has to be Transformers 4. Now, Transformers 4 did something fresh and new with the franchise, and I think it worked out really, really well. The only thing was I wish we would have gotten Ratchet's chase scene, like, in his perspective, so we would have gotten a little bit more time with Ratchet before he died. But other than that, I thought the movie was really cool in its own unique, special way, and I really liked it. And now, at number 1, we have Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Now, some people might say that this movie was too crazy, and it was too much action. But with Transformers, is there such a thing? Like, this movie had never slowed down. It never lagged. It never went too slow. It was at the perfect pace, and it was the perfect, and when I say perfect, I mean perfect, top tier Transformers movie. Alright, so that's it for me, Mass Mikes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!